Welcome to Athlete Arc. Grab your popcorn as we share with you more Olympic sports and their rules. In case you missed the first episode, do well to check this channel's videos so that you don't miss all the amazing experiences the first part has got. Cycling. This means of propulsion uses two wheels held in a frame, one behind the other. The rider sits on the bicycle seat and pedals to propel themselves forward. There are 4 events: individual sprint, team sprint, climb-in, and omnium. Rule number 1. This sport involves speed, so there is no limit on how fast you can go. Rule number 2. In the sprint event, you must have a change of pace within 20 seconds, or else you get disqualified. Baseball. In a team sport, 2 teams of 9 players each try to score runs by hitting a thrown ball with a bat and touching a series of 4 bases arranged on the corners of a 90-foot square diamond. Rule number 1. 1 run is scored when a player completes all 4 bases before being put out. Rule number 2. A ball must be thrown to the batter by a member of the opposite team for an out. Beach volleyball. A team sport involving 2 teams of 2 players each. The objective is to use a volleyball to hit the ground on the other side of a net without letting it bounce twice on your side. Rule number 1. The first contact after service must be made below shoulder height. Rule number 2. You can only touch the ball once before it lands and cannot hit it back over the net. Badminton doubles. A game like regular badminton, but played by 4 players and with 4 rackets instead of 2. Rule number 1. Only 1 serve is allowed per side unless the serving team has an advantage, in which case they have 2 serves. Rule number 2. The birdie must bounce on your side of the court before being returned, or else it is a fault. Table tennis. A game in which players use table tennis rackets to hit a lightweight ball covered with pimpled rubber over a net. The objective is to ensure the ball does not touch your opponent's side of the table. Rule number 1. You're not allowed to serve on the ramp. Rule number 2. The ball must bounce on your side of the table before being returned, or it is a fault. Taekwondo. This is a sport that involves 2 competitors trying to kick and punch each other without protective gear. Yet skill, strength, and speed judge players. Rule number 1. You're not allowed to hit your opponent on the head or the spine. Rule number 2. Like boxing, 1 point is awarded for clean hits, and 2 points are awarded if they knock their opponent out of bounds. Volleyball. In a team sport, 2 teams try to score points by grounding a ball on the other team's court. Rule number 1. 1 side must serve the ball before it can be returned. Rule number 2. The ball must hit the ground before being returned, or it is a fault depending on where it lands. Weightlifting. This sport is about lifting heavy weights attached to an Olympic bar. There are 2 styles of lift: snatch and the clean and jerk. Rule number 1. In the snatch, you lift the bar from the ground to overhead in a single motion. Rule number 2. You cannot drop or grip while lifting, or else it is a fault. Rule number 3. In the clean and jerk, you lift the bar from the ground to overhead in 2 stages. Rule number 4. You cannot drop or grip while lifting, or else it is a fault. Wrestling. This is a combat sport where 2 competitors try to gain control over each other using grappling techniques. Wrestlers are judged on their skill, strength, and speed. Rule number 1. You cannot touch your opponent's legs with any part of your own body, or it will be called a foul. Rule number 2. You cannot hold your opponent below the belt for Greco-Roman wrestling. Rule number 3. For freestyle wrestling, you cannot attack your opponent's legs at all, or it is considered a foul. Overall, Olympic sports offer athletes a chance to showcase their skills and and compete on the world stage, while also providing a great source of entertainment for spectators. Each individual sport has its own unique set of rules and challenges that require skill, dedication, and training in order to excel at them. We hope you enjoyed this video. If so, subscribe to this channel now. Make sure to hit the like button below too. What new sports did you discover from this video? Let us know by leaving a comment down below right now.